You gotta admit you like the hand clapping.
I do. I do like the hand clapping. At least somebody likes this.
All right,
Hi,
you're this.
everyone.
Go for it.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Geek Vice, episode number 63, right? 63?
63.
A podcast by two geeks just trying to be heard in a world now flooded with geeks. I'm Morph, your host, and your bartender for the zombie apocalypse. That man over there is Kip, and he's boldly going from the couch to the kitchen and back again. How you doing this evening, Kip?
I'm doing well. I was watching the national title and wasn't going the way I was hoping.
Yeah, it's a perfect excuse to turn that off while we record because I'm just going to get mad at watching the Ohio State.
Yeah, it gets pretty annoying.
Yeah, there's really nothing good about that. So, what have you been up to this last week there, Kip?
Oh, not too much. I traveled for work, got home, was really tired, so we decided to watch Guardians of the Galaxy, and I fell asleep. So that's how tired I was.
Yeah, that's not a good sign because that's not a movie you could really easily fall asleep in.
No, and it was a Friday night, and I was in bed by 8:30. It was pretty sad. I guess
That's
business
why we
travel
called you
takes
the
it.
old guy.
Business travel takes it out of me, I guess.
Yeah, I understand that one.
But when I did stay awake the next night, and we watched a couple of movies. The least favorite one of the two was The November Man. Have you seen that?
I have not.
It stars Pierce Brosnan, and he's like an old. They never really say what agency he works for, but basically he's an old assassin, and stuff goes down, and he has to get back into the game, kind of a deal. It deals a lot with the Russian mafia, and it's what you'd expect. Here's an old guy. He's being hunted by the guy he trained. There's a hot girl. Fill in the blanks. You pretty much got the movie. I mean, it was okay. I was entertained. Nobody's going to watch that movie and go, that was awesome. You're probably going to do what I did and it's like, okay, here's a girl who lives in war-torn Chechnya. Her family is murdered in front of her when she's 15. She is held as a sex slave to some sleazy Russian general for 2 years. Somehow manages to get away from all that, change her identity, and stay hidden for years. So you figure, here's a girl that's street smart, savvy, nothing's going to surprise her. Oh no, the writers of The November Man think she's an idiot, everything catches her off guard, and she does everything wrong. And I struggled with that part.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to work real well. I mean, that doesn't. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and she gets a chance to kill the guy that held her captive for 2 years and just basically abused her, and she had a chance just to kill him, and she faltered. It's like bullshit. She cuts the guy's nuts off in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I just struggled with that. It's like I hate an action movie where the girl always has to be rescued because she's an idiot. That's this movie.
Yeah.
There's an assassin coming for her. She's sitting at a computer. She sees the assassin, and she just stares at her until the assassin makes eye contact with her. Doesn't try to hide behind the screen or turn away so the girl couldn't see her. No, stares at her until she notices her. Dumbass.
So, in other words, you're saying that's not a very good movie?
Not a great movie. Not terrible if you're one of those people that can suspend disbelief because you have to do it a lot. But, I was entertained. I didn't, turn it off in the middle going, man, this just completely sucked. When it was all over with, it's like, well, there was that. Don't have to watch that ever again.
That's that's not such a good way to do that there.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this, there's no reason to run out and find The November Man and watch it.
Yeah, it didn't do so good on Rotten Tomato either. It's only at 35%.
And that may be generous.
Yeah.
But I like Pierce Brosnan and I like assassin movies, but holy shit, come on. At least try.
Yeah.
just try.
Exactly. So you watched The November Man. You said that was the worst of the movies you watched. What was the good one?
The good one was The Equalizer with Denzel Washington.
Ooh, everybody likes Denzel.
Denzel's pretty cool. The thing about The Equalizer is you watch the trailer, you pretty much know that he has an entanglement with the Russian mafia because they beat up Clory Moritz, his character. So that's the trailer. You go, okay, that's what the movie's about. It took an hour to get to that. The first hour was showing what a great guy Denzel Washington is, how he helps everybody out, how he lives the perfect life, how he's completely understanding, how he can just kill anybody without really flinching. And then the movie starts. So, but it was fun. It was worth the time. It was worth the price because we got it from the library. It's free. But it is Dr. Tropenstein in a lot of places, that's for sure. And so take an aged assassin, part 2, and throw him into a tassel with a hooker that got beat up by the Russian mafia, and you could fill in the blanks. At least this time, people weren't going out of their way to be stupid and making the movie harder than it needed to be. It was just the bad guys get theirs in the end, which I really like. So
yeah, you can't go wrong when the bad guys get their ass kicked because it's pretty much the way it's supposed to work.
Oh yeah, and he does it in such a way that if you were on the team of Russians trapped in this building with him and he's picking your friends off one at a time the way he did it, eventually you'd be like, you know what, fuck this, I'm out of here. But of course they didn't. They all met their end. But still, it was like, you know, a guy gets hung with barbed wire. Another guy, you know, gets blown up with some stuff in the microwave, and you'd be like, yeah, that's kind of a shitty way to go. I think I'll just step outside.
Yeah.
But if you get a chance to see The Equalizer, I'd recommend it. It's worth the sit down. In my opinion,
that is going on my list, so we will have to check that one out.
I don't know how Rotten Tomatoes felt about it, but I liked it.
61% among the critics, 78% amongst users. So
there you go, and I think it's because critics could see it for what it was, and the rest of us schlubs just enjoyed watching bad guys get killed.
Yeah, and you know, Denzel just being Denzel. I mean, geez, I think I could watch that guy in anything. I'm pretty sure I could watch him read the phone book, and I would find it entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. And there's one part of the movie where he is telling the girl that he's trying to read the top 100 books you should read before or during your lifetime. Basically, I guess there was an article saying these are the books you should read, and he was trying to work his way through it. He was in the 90s by the time the movie started. One of them was The Old Man and the Sea, but then there was a couple he kind of gave the synopsis to, and it's like, I want to know what that book is. So it would have been nice, like the extra features on the DVD would have been like, here's the 100 books you should read before you die. That would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, I wonder what that is.
Yeah, because, I don't know, maybe somebody out there listening could tell us, but there was one synopsis where he said, this guy is a knight in shining armor during a time when there are no knights in shining armor, kind of a thing. It's like, I want to know what that book is, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I went to I just did a quick Google search for 100 books to read before you die, and it sent me to a Goodreads website where it's got things like Pride and Prejudice, Lord of the Rings, the Harry Potter series, To Kill a
Curious George.
Mockingbird.
Oh.
No, I don't see Curious George on here. They do have War and Peace and The Great Gatsby, Gone with the Wind. A lot of stuff that I've never heard of. They have The Hobbit on here, which I've heard The Hobbit. Now, the Lord of the Rings books I've heard are really good. The Hobbit book I heard was so-so. Catcher in the Rye.
Hey, I read
Chronicles
that
of
one.
Narnia.
I read one of the books on the list.
Here's the funny thing. They have the Chronicles of Narnia, and then they also have the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. Which, if you read the Chronicles of Narnia, that includes the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Is that the first book?
Chronicles of Narnia, that's the series.
No, I mean The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yes.
Isn't that the first book?
Yep. They got Winnie the Pooh on here. I've read that.
Hell yeah.
I read
Well,
that
this
to my
list
kids.
This list I found has 1984, a series of unfortunate events, Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, there's a lot of books on here I've never heard of. Cloud
Diary
Atlas
of a
is one
Wimpy
here.
Kid.
Really?
Yeah, seriously. It's number 21.
Huh.
Trying to see if there's any of these books that I've read.
These
I
are
did read-
these are way smarter books than anything I've read.
Well, I did read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and I did read In Cold Blood by Truman Capote.
Ooh, I've read The Secret Garden. Well, I had The Secret Garden read to me as a kid.
By your mother?
By my mother.
All right. Of Human Bondage. Now that has potential.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I've seen that movie.
Yeah, both versions.
Yeah. I might have read the book too. I don't remember.
I did not.
Three Musketeers. Hamlet. I've read Hamlet. I had to read that for school. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. I've read those. Some
I
of
did
them.
not. Wow, there's just a lot of books, and it's like I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I wonder.
Oh, I read The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Not a happy book.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's one called The Very Hungry Caterpillar. That just sounds like one of those kids' books, doesn't it? But I bet it's probably not since it's on the list. Oh, number 97, Unbroken. I read that. All right. That is about as literary as we get right there. We're done.
Yeah.
We are done for 10 years now.
Yeah, I did I changed my Google search to actually include the Equalizer in there, and I actually got sent to a web page on from The Guardian, which is a newspaper over in England. This is the top 100 books of all times, put together by other authors. So I'm pretty sure this one is the list that he was talking about.
Probably.
This
I'm
one.
sure none of them are coloring books.
Nope, and I'm looking through this list. I'm pretty sure none of them have any pictures either. And
What's the fun in that?
I'm pretty sure these are all books that I've heard of, and I've heard they're really good. I'm not reading them though. These are, books that were written, in the 1800s.
Yeah, that's no good.
No thanks. So anyway, moving on. So the
That's what I
Equalizer
did
is
this
good.
weekend.
Go watch The Equalizer. Avoid November Man.
Something like that. And if you watch them both and you like the November Man better, you're wrong.
Remember that, everybody. You are wrong. So, yeah, I didn't watch a whole lot of movies this weekend, but I did play some video games this weekend.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope. I played a little bit of Civilization 5 because I bought that for I think it was I think that one was $12 on Steam. It comes with all the expansion packs. So I
Nice.
started playing that a little bit. I like that. I haven't gotten very far into it because that's one of those games that, a turn-based strategy game that takes 5 or 6 hours to get through just one game. So I'm not very far into that one, but I've started it. I have finished Murdered Soul Suspect. I finished that last night. That one was, again, I've talked about it twice already, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. Really good. I have some complaints with the way it ended. Not necessarily with the way the story ended, but with the final scene that they put you through and the actions they require you to do because they don't really lead up to it at all. But if you want to play a video game where it's all about the story and not about action, Murdered Soul Suspect, check it out, really good. And the other game that I started playing last night because I found it on Steam for a whopping $1.50, Final Fantasy VII.
Nice.
I'm like, you know what? I have that sitting here on my desk for the PlayStation, but I don't have a PlayStation that works or that's hooked up anymore. So I'm like, you know what? Hey, this is available and it's for a couple bucks. I'll spend a couple bucks and relive my past gaming life and enjoy some Final Fantasy VII. So
Heck yeah, be a teenager again.
yeah, it's like, I feel like a little kid. And it works with a controller on the computer, so that's even better.
I like it.
Yeah. But
So how long did you play it?
I've only played it. I've only put in about an hour or so. Maybe not
So
even that.
you finding it easy to do now that you've done it before, or is it like I can't remember what I'm supposed to do?
Well, right now I'm still in the very linear part. I haven't gotten out into the open map. But I'm sure once I get out in the open map, I'm going to have to go pull up the guides to figure out how to get anywhere because I'm not sure how quickly that's going to come back to me. And I know at one point I got lost in that game so much so that I couldn't figure out what to do next, and that's why I've never finished that game. So we'll see if I can actually finish it this time.
All right, everybody's counting on you.
Yeah. That's don't do that. Don't count on me. You're only destined for failure at that point. Just ask my wife.
Damn it.
But there was some good news that came out this today or over the weekend, and that is the CW has announced that they're renewing all their fall shows, 2 of them being Arrow and The Flash. So we are going to be getting season 4 of Arrow next year, and or I guess in the fall, next fall. We're in the fall. Yeah.
No. Winter.
We're in the winter. Next season, we'll get the season 4. I think it's season 4 of Arrow and season 2 of The Flash. So that's good to hear. I was a little afraid that those shows weren't gonna, or at least The Flash. I was afraid The Flash might get canceled. Not because it's not doing well, but because I was afraid Warner Brothers was going to be worried about the confusion between Flash on TV and Flash in the movies. But apparently they don't care, so...
Well, the CW only exists so they can put beautiful people in TV shows.
Yeah, that is true. That is true, but...
At least they save us that from Arrow and Flash. At least those 2 shows don't seem like that's what they're based on. They have beautiful people, but...
Exactly. But then they also, tonight, or Yeah, tonight I just watched it. And Kip, when did you watch this trailer that it came out?
Which one?
The Age of Ultron trailer.
I watched it while I was watching the national championship game.
So you watched it tonight too. So it must have just come out recently. I hadn't seen it before tonight, right before this show. So of course I had to watch it. That looks like a really good movie. I
Yeah,
can't wait for
definitely.
that. And so in May, we're gonna have a Geek Vice night at the movies, and we're gonna go see Age of Ultron. What do you think about that?
I'm excited. The trailer looks really good. It's definitely going to be a darker movie.
Yeah, yep. It's gonna be a lot darker than before, and I'm curious to see how it leaves everything. I'm curious to see how it all plays out. Man, it just looks really good. So
It does look really good. James Spader's voice is going to work really nice, I think. And oh yeah, when May gets here, we're gonna at least have a good time seeing that. We're gonna
yeah,
have to see it in prime seating though.
yeah, yeah. We'll have to go get the seats, the big recliners with where they serve you beer while you watch the movie too.
Yeah, it's a tough gig, but we're willing to do it for the good of the show.
Yeah, exactly. And then we'll watch it and then review it right here on Geek Vice. You can tune in on sometime after, what is it, May 1st when that movie comes out?
I guess.
I think that's what it is.
It's too far away.
I know. We're still in January. But, we watched some movies, played some video games, but there's a TV show that came out last week and had its first 2 episodes of the 8 episodes that is in this entire series so far. The first 2 came out last week, and we watched them. And this show's called Agent Carter. Or is the title Marvel's Agent Carter? I don't know, but it's
Who
about
knows?
Agent Carter. For those of you that don't know, little background on Agent Carter. It is Agent Peggy Carter. She was basically Captain America's handler in the first Captain America movie. Ended up becoming a love interest. They fell in love with each other. Then, of course, Captain America sacrifices himself to crash the bad guy ship into the North Pole-ish area, and they think he's dead. Realistically, really, he's just frozen. But Peggy Carter then moves on. This TV show takes place approximately a year after the events from the first Captain America movie.
1946.
1946. So, yeah, I think ABC might have this and Marvel might have this right. I heard an analogy today when I was looking up some other people's thoughts on this, and they made the analogy, or they compared Agent Carter to Alias. Did you ever watch Alias
I didn't.
with Jennifer Garner? Very similar kind of in tone, and the idea Alias had Jennifer Garner was the main character. She was kind of a super spy, and Peggy Carter is female lead and main character and a super spy. Only difference is one took place in kind of present day and one is taking place during World War II. So I really like it. I think this is a great TV show. I think it's off to a good start. What do you think there, Kip?
I had a good time watching that TV show. I agree with you. It got off to a good start. I mean, what was that guy's name? Leet Brannis or something like that. the bad guy that had his vocal cords taken out.
Oh yeah.
I thought he was fantastic, even though he didn't get to say anything. But I don't know. I just like the whole premise. I like the way it was done. The hard part is the way they treated women back then. It all has that Mad Men feel to it.
Yeah. That it does. And I don't know. I don't know that. Honestly, I have a feeling that tone of it is going to stay throughout this, at least these 8 episodes. Maybe in the future, we could start to see Peggy Carter be respected a little bit more.
I think they're going to do that because she's obviously smarter than everybody else that works in her agency. Even though they treat her like a secretary, I think eventually it's going to be like, holy shit, you keep solving all these things and we're just morons. And I think then it'll kick in.
Yeah.
At least I'm hoping so. Because it's tough to see somebody treated like that, you know.
Yeah, it is. It is. And well, I think also one of the saving graces of having to deal with that or watching that is the interaction and kind of the way Peggy Carter and Edwin Jarvis interact. Jarvis, I think, is the James D'Arcy or D'Arcy. Um, he's really good. I like the way he's playing Jarvis. Jarvis is a pretty central part in the comic books. Jarvis is Stark's butler and has always played a part in the comic books as basically the butler for the entire Avengers. So to see him in this and be Howard Stark's butler, I I thought that was really good. I like the way he interacts with Peggy Carter. He's kind of a, I don't know, chauffeur slash assistant slash uh, I don't know, comic relief almost.
Almost. And I like how he always has a schedule he has to adhere to.
Yeah,
He's like, well, don't call me after 7. And
yeah, and well, can you give me a few minutes? I understand you need me to come pick you up right now, but I've got some linens in the dryer. I gotta get those out first.
exactly.
Like I I like that. I think it's fun. I think it gives the grounded feel of that this isn't just two people going on super spy missions all by themselves with nothing else going on in the world. It kind of gives you that um, connection to reality. I would also say that the way they've written in kind of Peggy Carter's um, like non superhero life or non spy life, the other side of it, with her basically not having an apartment, be living with somebody else, that person um, gets murdered because of what Carter's doing, and now she's got to find a new place to live, and that so the interactions with her and the waitress at the diner she always goes to was kind of fun. Um,
Yeah, and they're sticking with the theme that people in the Marvel universe feel like they can't be close to anybody because it puts them in danger.
yeah,
It's also the same theme Arrow and the Flash use on the DC side. You know, you can't get too close to anybody or they'll just be put in danger. And
right, right.
so that kind of made sense. And they tried to spin it where she finally learns to, hey, life is worth living. I just can't hide.
right,
So that kind of came out at the end, which was nice.
and it was, and I think it's a pretty normal superhero trope. It's used for just about every superhero. But so it kind of, people have, I've heard a lot of people say that this is not a superhero uh, TV show, and then I've heard people complain that this is another superhero TV show without a superhero in it. I I really think this is a superhero TV show, and I think the superhero is Peggy Carter. I mean,
I would agree.
That's the idea behind this thing. She is a superhero because she can do things that no one else can do. The only difference is in this one, nobody actually realizes she's doing it or that there's anybody doing it. It's just like, oh, hey, this, I'm still trying to figure out what's going on here. Why is this stuff happening? And she's already, 2-3 steps ahead. So I recommend it. I mean, everybody should go watch this. It's
only what, a 6-parter?
8 episodes.
8 episodes.
Yeah, there's going to be 8 episodes. They've had 2 now, so there's only 6 more episodes left. Next 6 weeks, I believe. Which the next episode airs on Tuesday, the 13th. Hello, future people.
Hello, future people.
Yeah, so if you are listening to this after January 13th of 2015, you can go find more than 2 episodes of this.
I'm hoping it does well enough that they're going to want to pick it up for a full run.
I kind of hope so too. I will also put out there for anyone listening to this that's like, well, I don't know anything about the Marvel Universe. I don't know that I want to be able to watch that I'll be able to watch this TV show. There is nothing in the Marvel Universe that you need to know to watch this movie or this TV show. They do a really good job of keeping it all grounded. They keep it all in, just a real world setting. You're not dealing with a whole bunch of like crazy super powered villains. You don't have, or at least not yet. The only connection to the Marvel movie universe is to the first Captain America movie, but it gives you enough flashbacks in the pilot episode to give you the information you need to know about how Peggy Carter and Captain America are connected. Other than that, the names of the people that are thrown out there, like, Howard Stark, you see him in the pilot. I'm assuming he's going to show back up at some point.
Yeah, I would assume. And there was a guy in a quick flash that was wearing a bowler hat. And I immediately thought of the Howling Commandos, so hopefully those guys make an appearance as well.
That would be kind of fun too. Maybe a little Dum Dum Dugan.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's good. It's very good.
It is good, and I'm glad to see. You knew when you watched the first Captain America that this Peggy Carter character was done. Haley Atwell did a fantastic job, and you just felt like, well, at least I did. That's like, well, too bad she's really only going to be in this one because now it's going to take place in the future. And there must have been a lot of feedback as such that they went ahead and pulled the trigger on this, which is nice. I keep using the word nice tonight for some reason, but
well, it is. It's really good, and this is the first Marvel production with a strong female lead. They haven't pulled the trigger on a Black Widow movie yet.
Which I wish they would.
Me too. And maybe this TV show, if it gets good ratings and gets good reviews, can help maybe push that along a little bit in that, hey, we can do this and we can write a strong female role.
Yeah, it would. I'm as with Peggy Carter, the whole what's her name? Holy cow, Natalia.
Yeah.
Romanoff.
Her
whole thing with man, my brain just isn't working. The guy that shoots the arrows. Thank you.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, their whole backstory they alluded to in the first Avengers movie, it's like, I would really like to see a movie about that.
Yeah.
Because that would be like, more of an intrigue, more of a spy movie. But I think it would be fantastic because, they allude to Budapest and, Red and her ledger and all this stuff. It's like, I want to know how that got there. I want to see what happened in Budapest. Let's do that.
Yeah. I think that would be great. I think it would be really good. So, I will say my favorite scene from Agent Carter that we've seen so far is it was towards I want to say it was in the second episode, and Peggy Carter's sitting in the diner, and there's she's talking to the waitress there who has become her friend because she's such a regular there. And there's a big fat guy that always sits there, and he's a regular and always gives the same waitress crap and complains about the eggs. And Peggy Carter gets up to leave, and she walks by and picks up a fork and just sticks it like right in his ribs, and is just leaning down next to him in the ever so like sensual way that anyone looking in on it is just going, oh, that's she's hitting on him or something like that, and she's whispering in his ear that she could make him bleed out right here, and that he needs to be nicer, and he needs to find a new place to eat, and and tip really well.
I did like that as well. That he lays down a few bills, and it was like, yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and they show the waitress, and she's behind the counter with the plate of food, and it's almost like she watched it and then just smiled and went on. And it's like, they do a really good job with this show in including just enough humor in there so that it still feels like a Marvel property. Every one of the Marvel movies, even the Winter Soldier, even the Avengers, they had their comedic parts in it. They didn't take themselves too seriously. They can laugh at themselves, and this TV show can do that too. And I think that's part of what makes the Marvel Universe work so well together, is the fact that it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah, because it deals with some fairly dark subject matter, and having the comic relief in there really breaks it up and makes it a little more entertaining, I guess is the word for it.
Yeah.
I think that's why Jarvis is there, and I think that's why the other, what are they, CIA, FBI, whatever they are, those guys being the idiots that they are, I think that was thrown in for some comic relief that works for me.
They are SSR agents.
SSR, that's it.
Strategic Scientific Reserve.
Yeah, those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen, a show with the Russian mob and a show with a CIA assassin, blah blah blah. So
you've got enough acronyms. You can't keep them all straight.
I can't keep them all straight. I'm SOL. So there you have it.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, go watch Agent Carter. We're gonna go watch the next episode, which we record these on Monday night, so that means tomorrow night I will be watching Agent Carter. So.
Me too. Well, not tomorrow night because I bowl, but after that I will watch.
There you go. So, you got anything else you want to throw out there, Mr. Kip?
I'm just tired of winter.
Yeah.
I went to Lincoln, Nebraska for a trip, and freaking cold doesn't cover it.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for 80-degree temps and shorts weather.
Yeah. I can't argue that. Although I did see this weekend it's supposed to be in the 50s, so that's at least.
I know. I'm excited about that.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll throw one more thing out there on the TV front. You had mentioned last week about the TV show Gallivant.
Yes.
I watched part of an episode last night. It just happened to be, I was flipping channels, and Reese was playing on my tablet before he went to bed, and Amber was reading a book, and so I'm like, hey, Gallivant's on, so I flipped it on. You know what? That's not all bad. I didn't watch the whole episode. I only was able to get part of it in before I had to put Reese to bed. But it's I think I might go back and try to find those and watch those, because it was actually pretty entertaining.
It's a comedy, obviously, and
It kind of reminded me of Robin Hood Men in Tights.
yes, definitely reminded me of that as well.
So, and I enjoyed that. You know, Mel Brooks. Everybody loves Mel Brooks.
Yeah, and this definitely has that Mel Brooks feel to it, and unfortunately he's not associated with it, but still, it's good. It's just silly enough that a guy with my sense of humor is like, I'm all on this. I'm in it. I'm all in.
So there you go, everybody. We'll call it a night here. You can check us out on our blog at geekvice.blogspot.com. You can follow me on Twitter at geekvice. You can follow Kip Killigan on Twitter at Kip Killigan. You can go look for us on Google Plus and Facebook. Just search for Geek Vice. Like our Facebook page. You can find these, if you're listening to this on the podcast, you know where you can find it. You can find it on iTunes and Podcast Addict and anywhere else you can put in an RSS feed. Also, you can find us on YouTube. You can find our YouTube channel. Just search for Geek Vice. Anywhere else? Yeah.
Side of buses, scratched on the wall in a bus station bathroom.
Yes.
Yeah, just search Geek Vice on the scribbles.
Exactly. So thanks everyone for listening to our ramblings. You can reach out to us at geekvice@gmail.com. Email us and tell Kip why November Man is better than The Equalizer.
And I'll tell you why you're wrong.
You can email me and tell me why I shouldn't be playing Final Fantasy VII for the 400th time. And or you could just email us and tell us why you liked Agent Carter. Again, that email address is geekvice@gmail.com, and we will see you next week.
See ya.
Later.